from the Gray Zone. You have a stringer there who interviewed the mother.
قبل كان وزنه 9، اليوم أصبح فقد من وزنه ما يقارب 4 كيلو، صار 6 كيلو. مثل ما انتم شايفين بيعاني من سوء تغذية، وهذا كله بسبب قلة الأكل والمجاعة والاحتلال اللي بحارب فينا وفي ضعف أطفالنا. طبعا هذا كله هذا بسبب كمان تسكير
Very upsetting.
It is really upsetting, yeah.
This will be shown at the future Holocaust Museum.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it was very upsetting. It's like we showed it last week on Useful Idiots, and it's, you know, it was very hard for me to not cry on air, because it's so awful. And then, like, to have to kind of like defend the right of this child not to be starved to death, despite the fact that, you know, they have cerebral palsy. It's just like, that's where we are. Yeah, I mean, it is interesting how, you know, it's disgusting, but sometimes I'm like, well, maybe all these, I guess so many Zionists, though, are so much more excited about killing Palestinians than they are about saving Jewish lives, right? Because all these people who care about Jews, and that's like Israel's shtick, right? To be a safe haven. We know that Netanyahu doesn't care, and he's, as you said, and you wrote in your article, he's perfectly happy. In fact, it's his preference to have these people killed. But you would think that more like liberal Zionists would be up in arms about the effect that Israel's policy is having on the hostages. Like, they don't care about Palestinians.
They are up in arms. They are. I mean, they interrupted like one of the top Israeli reality shows. Like
right, yeah.
Liberal Zionist women. You see these protests all the time. Like, they're about as hopping mad as a liberal Zionist, if you even want to call them that. They're sort of like, I call them, they're more just like Ashkenazi elites from the cities, secular Zionists is what you would call them in Israel.
Right.
They don't have a messianic attitude.
Right.
And they're a problem. They're a problem for the government, but they're not a threat that Netanyahu has to face down the way he did before October 7th with the protests for judicial reform, where they actually had like military reservists refusing duty. So they're not able to turn the screws on the government.
Right. Yeah. But what about Amy Schumer? Why isn't she up in arms? Does she know this? Is she too dumb to know what Netanyahu's doing? Do you think? Amy, come on the show. Let us know.
Yeah. I don't know. She has to get approval from Chuck Schumer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I just wanted to say, like, to your point, not caring about the captives or wanting them dead is logical for the leadership of Israel, but it's Zionist logic. It's not our logic. The Hannibal Directive is logical within the political parameters of Zionism, because the most important thing is to preserve the exclusivist Jewish state, not to preserve Jewish life. I mean, Jewish life is actually very expendable. And the Jewish state makes it so, particularly outside of the militarized frontiers of what is known as Israel. So those Jews give Hamas negotiating leverage. The goal is to totally destroy all resistance to the self-proclaimed Jewish state, no matter what they are. Like, even if they have surrendered in Syria, you have to destroy any iterations of resistance or any potential resistance. And that destruction breathes life into Zionism. It gives it dynamism because people are fighting for something, and the military is a major force for indoctrination and propagandizing the public. And then outside, which of course puts the population in further peril because they're perpetually at war. They can never snuff out all the threats. But then further afield in the so-called diaspora, we don't actually live in the diaspora. Like, this is where I am from. I'm not from Israel. But as it's known, what the Zionist movement would like more than anything, like the real hardcore believers in it, the ones who believe in what Israel's government is doing right now, is for some Gentile Nazi to walk up in a synagogue on Friday night and shoot a bunch of old ladies. They would love that. I mean, they would maybe not be like, yes, but they would be filled with indignation and it would provide them with the political leverage they need to kind of push back against the public outrage about everything they're doing in Gaza. And so that's why we see like the Israeli Foreign Ministry account is a perfect example or perfect illustration of what I'm saying right now. They're complaining and howling right now because some people threw fake blood on the embassy in Amsterdam. Justifiably, I totally support doing that. Cheers to those who did it. It's a protest. I oppose the real blood. But just a day ago, that same account was justifying the murder of journalist Anas al-Sharif and his entire crew and the real bloodshed. So this is the dynamic where they're like, on the one hand, they're like, fuck around and find out. Yeah, you're dead, bitch. You're Hamas. And then the next day they're, oh, this is our reality. This is our reality. We are anti-Semitism. It is Anne Frank all over again.
Right. So disgusting.
And we must censor the show Slam Frank. But, you know, they'd be on the good foot if they could get some real anti-Semitism going right now.
Right. And just to clarify, when I say it's their shtick to be a safe haven for Jews and save Jewish lives, I mean, I don't think that Israel doesn't operate that way, but a lot of people do think that's what Israel's about. I mean, it's kind of...
No, it's just the Israel exists to give the Jewish communal life a political and spiritual boner that it wouldn't have otherwise in the United States and in Europe and elsewhere. It doesn't really serve any other any other purpose to Jews. It serves purpose to imperialism for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, all the Jews who believe in Israel at this point, who control all of our communal institutions, they could not do with an Israel at peace, with an Israel that was not embattled. They would have nothing to do, and then they just be like, beep, like what would like Barry Weiss or Eli Lake do? Like, what would they write about or think about? Like, their lives would be impoverished. Their identity would be they'd just be this white person in America.
Right.
All those people you go up against on Piers Morgan, they'd just be white people.
Right. Yeah. No grievances. They won't be persecuted.
And not like interesting white people. Because Zionists like that, they're not really like funny Jews or smart Jews. They're just loud and obnoxious and brazen.
Yeah, someone posted in a tweet, below a tweet, I think when I went on Piers Morgan, I tweeted out a clip and someone was like, Zionists, offended by everything, ashamed of nothing.